3-0 in the coach slightly era. Slightly early when I drive back home for Thanksgiving break. Ah, that's the best right there. I'm assuming from college. Mavs three straight W at OKC dog walk by the Spurs. I wonder if Slightly Biased still loves me. Yeah, what up, Shadows? Of course I still love you, brother. Now at the 199 vibe check. Vibes are ramping up. Vibes are ramping up. Look what they handed out at the Mavs game last night. It's a little pin. PJ Washington standing on business pin. This camera doesn't really do it justice. Is that not kind of sick? Like the PJ it's a pin. It comes out. And then on the back, it's like they give these out. Like, you know, if you go to a game, they give out hit the pose. Get the clips ready. But they hand out like stuff all the time, and I gotta be honest with you, usually I don't even leave the stadium with them. So I doesn't have the order pull that off. Yeah, fucking right, buddy. Yeah, right. Oh man, they're gonna hand out a series of 5 pins. Oh, okay. Is this the first one? But yes, I went to the game last night. In case you were wondering, like, why I wasn't on playback or anything, it was pretty last minute. Just had a friend hit me up and I was like, "Yo, I got tickets through work." They were good tickets, really good tickets. Now, I am 3-0 in attendance so far this season. Beyond that, right? Beyond being 3-0 while in attendance. If we go back to the playoffs, where I believe I was 6-2. Slightly getting too big time for us. No, I really, y'all don't know what's kind of sad. Is I was this close to saying no because I needed to stream. But then I was like, I'm going to go. But I do need to chill for a while. I love streaming, man. I really do. Awesome PJ collectible pin card would be awesome to have one and signed. That would be kind of sick. B-Dot, 2 years in the Slightly Delusional Club. The one and the only. Good Mavs win. Got my coffee. Let's have a good one. Let's. What's the worst loss, best win you've witnessed live? Well, best win I've witnessed live. Well, that's easy. You guys got to remember, whenever I started streaming on YouTube back in like 2021, I did not go to a Mavs game until, I used to go all the time, but I did not go until the playoffs last year. So the best one I've been to live, I mean, it's kind of got to be Game 6 against the Thunder last year, probably. Going to the conference finals. Game 6 against the Thunder was awesome live. Game 3 against the Timberwolves was incredible last year because you go up 3-1 in the Western Conference Finals. You go up 3-0 in the Western Conference Finals, you know you're making the NBA Finals. So that was an incredible experience to be at. Game 4 in the finals last year. Winning a finals game was sick. 40-point blowout win, even though it wasn't... Could you ever do anything live from a game? Maybe. I'm not going to lie. I kind of get bad about doing content whenever I'm at games just because go and watch. All right, let's get in here before we ramble too long and then this ends up being way longer. First and foremost, just a quick little preamble. Housekeeping. How'd you guys feel about the thumbnail change for slightly early? So I mentioned it. My man Jacob designed for us an incredible thumbnail template that I think looks great. However, I just feel like my videos do better if it's just a black background with a player on it. I'm not sure what the deal is with that, but that's just the way that it is. But I want to use the thumbnail. I want to use the thumbnail template he made for me because it's fucking really good. And I feel like it looks like it looks good as like a streaming one. Was I wearing women's sunglasses last night? No. I've seen some people say this, that I wear women's sunglasses. By the way, I've you know, there's a nice little group of people now who are spending majority of their days talking about me online, which is pretty funny. But saying that I'm wearing women's sunglasses. Do you guys like women's sunglasses? I mean, I'm sure there are women's sunglasses, but aren't most sunglasses unisex? That's what I'm saying. I mean, some of them are. Like, some of them will be like too small for your head, which would mean that they are probably women's sunglasses. But I've never thought of sunglasses being gendered, really. Thank you, Bacons. What was the play the Mavs ran last night where Lively was basically at the nail and that he had the option to pass out to Luke in corner, Clay in the wing for three or the other corner? So that's why I like Lively in the starting five so much, is because that group has such good spacing. Having a guy in the middle of the floor that can pass as well as Lively can, I think is really important to that group. Greetings from Malaysia. All right. We got so close last time. I think we got 9 out of 10 right. And we missed like the 7th question. Let's go. Which of these MLB teams did not win a World Series in the 90s? Braves did, Yankees, Rays. Okay. They gave us an easy one right off the rip. Which of these MLB teams did not win a World Series in the 2000s? Red Sox did. Okay. The Rays have never won a World Series. Wait. Yeah. Why are they constantly in here? Who led the WNBA in assists per games last season? That was Caitlin Clark. The last 2 World Series have both lasted this amount of games. 5. Been a little stinky, for being honest. This traditional basketball program is 10-0 to start the college football season. Oh, that's Indiana. I do know that. Thank God. We got the college football question out of the way with a win. All right, come on. Oh, no. This college football. Oh, wait, that's Florida State. All right, we have 2 college football teams, 2 college football questions. We're cruising. This NFL team started 2021 season 7-0. That's the Steelers, isn't it? Oh. Cardinals? I honest to God have no... When did that happen? Honestly, what? In 1998, this NFL team started season 13. Are you fucking kidding me? Broncos. Okay. Who's the youngest player to appear in an NBA game? Youngest player ever. I kind of think it's Jermaine O'Neal. Bynum. I thought maybe Bynum because of he was just in this question, but all right. Which of these college football schools didn't win? I'm like bad with NBA trivia questions like that. Which of these college football schools didn't win a national title in the 1990s? Are you shitting me? There's no way Colorado won one. Wow. All right, we wouldn't have got there anyways. I honestly have no recollection of the Cardinals being undefeated like that. Mavs top 7 in offense and defense. I can't believe they're still top 7 in defense, honestly. It's because they have these games. They have certain matchups where they will bully a team. Absolutely. A little stat padding involved. Nothing wrong with some stat padding here and there, though. There's a great 30 for 30 on Colorado's national championship. I'm so, like, out on college football. Like, I'm not. It is by far my biggest blind spot in sports. By far. And I've seen all of these, in recent days, I've seen all these discussions about whether or not, you know, this team deserves to make the college football playoff. They're 11-0, they're 13-0. Do they deserve to make it? I mean, what's the fucking point of playing the games? What's the point of playing games and being undefeated and expanding the playoff if you then think that those teams should not be in the playoff? All right, who's your MMA goat? All right, I stand corrected. MMA is far and away my biggest blind spot. I stand corrected. I at least know the schools involved in college football, and I know who's been good historically. So, have you been avoiding Isaac on Locked On? They definitely have beef. Oh my god. John Jones, the best PFP profile picture, pound for pound fighter in history. I can't get there with fighting. Now I will say after the Mavs game on Saturday night, we went to a bar next to the stadium and they had the fights on, and it was we left before I think the big fight happened, but it was a dude with kind of blonde hair and a bunch of tattoos. And he was just on top of him the entire fucking time. All 5 rounds, just sitting on top of him for the entirety of the fight for 5 minutes each round. And I'm just like, what is this? But then I will say, in the last round, it did get kind of exciting because they were like, yeah, he's got to win by knockout now. So everyone's like, oh shit, he's trying to knock him out. And then he had the dude on his back, and he stood up and jumped out onto the mat twice. I was like, all right, that was kind of sick. He lost. That was kind of sick. Charles Oliver's. Oh, Oliveira. That was Chandler versus Oliveira. Like, it was kind of a boring fight up until that last sequence. I mean, dude, you know, I got some motherfucking tree trunk legs, okay? Being that tired and exhausted after fighting for 30 minutes and then standing up with somebody on your back. Jesus Christ. Like, my God. I've been watching UFC for years and didn't care that much about watching this one. Why you? Hey, don't talk shit on my locked on brethren in here. We're not doing that. Mike with $5 slightly early on the way to work. Love that. Have a great day at work. Have a great day. The co-main was always going to be what you described. The only other time I've watched hold on, I need to mute my TV, actually. Bro, I don't know what YouTube autoplay has going on. I got home last night, made some dinner, threw on a YouTube video. I forgot what I even threw on. It was some like NBA thing. And for some reason, I mean, I passed out. It was still on this morning. For some reason, it autoplayed to a 3-hour Microsoft Excel course. It's on hour 2 of a Microsoft Excel course. What up, Tay? Why? Nothing. I wonder if that could be a secret, like putting stuff on like that while you sleep, and maybe you retain it better than you think. Huh? Something to think about. Good morning, folks. It is Wednesday, November 20th. Is Thanksgiving 8 days away? Oh, my God. 9:53 a.m. That just hit me like a ton of bricks. 9:53 a.m. Central Standard Time. It's a chilly day here in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. Wouldn't have it any other way. We had NBA Cup action last night. I was in attendance for the Dallas Mavericks versus New Orleans Pelicans game. The Mavericks won that game by 41 points. We'll talk a little bit more in depth about that game. We had what's been up until this point the game of the season. I mean, the most anticipated game of the NBA season up until this point. The Cavaliers, who were 15-0 entering the game, heading into Boston and losing their first game of the season, 120 to 117. Of course, we're going to talk more about that. We had the Nets, Hornets, classic, crazy end-of-game sequence for the Hornets. Wouldn't have it any other way without LaMelo Ball, who was benched in this game. Nuggets, Grizzlies, Spurs, Thunder. Spurs with a win over the Thunder. And the Lakers and the Jazz. Do I support gambling? I dabble with sports gambling from time to time. We're off the rails immediately into slightly early, but that's all right. My stance with gambling and sports gambling has always been that it should be treated like tobacco, where you could do it, it's legal, fine. Obviously, all things in moderation. It's one of the most dangerous addictions. It has one of the highest. Am I even allowed to say this word on YouTube? It has one of the highest video game rates, if you catch my drift, video gaming yourself rates of any addiction that there is. So it's a very dangerous addiction. And I do hate how it is advertised. I do hate how irresponsible they are with advertising. So I do dislike that. But I'm not like going to judge anybody for sports gambling. I sports gamble from time to time, like I said, in moderation. I have friends who are very much off the deep end when it comes to it. But I do think the way that sports leagues advertise it is dangerous, and it needs to be fixed. So that's my stance on it. Now, that's not to say, like, look, I'm telling you guys right now, if a sports book came knocking at my door and offered me X amount of money, I'd do it. Like, I'm just going to say that. Like, podcasts, especially gambling-centric podcasts, but podcasts or YouTubers advertising like Prize Picks or FanDuel or whatever, don't really have a problem with that. It's more so, the league themselves advertising sports gambling, or ESPN being so in your face with gambling while they run a sports book. That should not be allowed, ever. That genuinely should never be allowed. Matthew, what are you on about this morning, bro? What are you on about in the chat currently? So anyways, that's just my quick little gambling aside. We got a couple of things we want to talk about. I need to ask the chat right away. The Ringer has updated their top 100 players list. Do we take a peek at this or no? I usually don't care too much about constantly looking at these because how much can... That's exactly what I'm saying, Shrimp. How much could change in the last couple of weeks that has made... Let's look. We're just going to look briefly at it. I know nothing of this. Top 100 players in the NBA by The Ringer. I don't know what has changed in the last 2 weeks. I don't know how you can... The idea of like a constantly flowing and constantly changing top 100 list is cool. But then in theory, but then in practice, it doesn't really work out. It provides hate content for us disgruntled Mavs fans. All right, let's see. Jokic, number one, the unquestioned best player in the world. That's fine. That's fair. He absolutely has been so far this season. Missed his third straight game last night. His wife, right? I don't know too much about the personal life of a lot of NBA players. His wife is pregnant and or has already had the baby. I'm really not sure. But congratulations to the Jokic family. But yes, he has been pretty unquestioned in terms of the best player in the world so far this season. Luka's still number 2. That's actually a little bit surprising to me. So what is the point of doing these? I don't really understand. Is Tatum up to 4? Where was he at? Tatum has climbed 2 spots from 6 to 4. Okay. Point, counterpoint. Jason Tatum for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Oh, they have a whole thing here about Tatum versus SGA. Yeah, I actually think Tatum's been really solid so far this season. So I think that's fine. Now, I guess, it's kind of like AD has been unquestionably, I think, a top 3 player in the sport so far this season. But when you're doing like a constantly changing top 100 list, you obviously have to factor in more than just this season. Steph Curry at 6. That feels like that's gone. Oh, no, he was 7. All right. KD, AD's up to 8. Embiid's down to 9. This is why I didn't even really want to look at this, because it is like, what is the point of doing one of these if Embiid's still going to be in your top 10? Or, okay, yeah, I agree. Let's skip this shit. Kyrie should go up, though. Halliburton has only dropped 1 spot. Kyrie should have risen on this list. Where's he at? 25? He's gone up 1 spot. All right, we're done. We're done. We going to talk about the 76ers meeting? Yes, we are. Absolutely. I did want to talk about that. I just want to see if they've added like new people into the top 100. Bilal Coulibaly's to the top 100. Wow. All right. Amin Thompson. Tari Easton's in the top 100. Vooch is back. Ben Math. Buddy Hield. All right, that's fun. Derek Lively's at 88. He's gotten up a spot. We love that. Any other Mavs? Dyson Daniels. I'm assuming not. I'm assuming there's no other Dallas Maverick. Now, I do think P.J. Washington should be in a top 100 list, by the way. I think he's that level of player. You see the tweet about Holly playing bad because of hotel beds? Yes, and I saw people shit on them for saying that. But I do think it was a good point, though. I think that's fair. I don't think people realize, like, of course, they're flying in private jets, and they're staying in incredible hotel rooms with great accommodations and incredible beds, all of this, right? But they're still, like, being on a plane for 3 hours, moving around, everything that comes with that, getting to your hotel room, maybe a little bit late, sleeping in a bed that's not your own. If you have a bad back, I can see that fucking you up. I know it sounds stupid, but I could see it. Sleeping has become part of the skill set. Yeah, we should add that about players. Brandon Miller at 83, great sleeper. Sleeps really well. Hotel room, doesn't matter. Can sleep on the concrete ground. Doesn't matter what bed he's sleeping in. He's going to show up. That's something we should I used to be able to sleep everywhere. I think I have grown. I think I've changed over time a little bit. Top 2 sleeper and not 2. All right, let's dive into it. Where do we want to start? Do we want to start with the games last night, or do we want to start with the Philadelphia 76ers and their meeting? Because I do want to talk about that. Can't really sleep anywhere that's not at least kind of my bed. Cavs, Celtics, Mavs, W. All right. Let's start here. Game of the century, some are saying. The Cleveland Cavaliers, 15-0. Was it the 4th best start to a season in NBA history? Heading to Boston, playing at the Shrek Court. taking on the Celtics. And it lived up to the expectations, 120 to 117. It did sort of feel in the first half like, all right, here we go. Like Boston's just going to steamroll every team in the league. This is just kind of a waste of our time. But then the Cavs in the third quarter, turned it on. Donovan Mitchell got going a little bit. I thought Evan Mobley played a good game of basketball. Their depleted bench unit, the Cavs, where we should say this, where the Cavaliers entered this game hurt in some areas. No Karis LeVert in this game. No Dean Wade in this game. No Okoro in this game. Those are all guys who are like options to start at the 3 for them. So they do have to start Sam Merrill, who just really I don't think is it, especially against this Celtics team where you really got to be on your P's and Q's defensively. And starting a guy like that definitely hurts you. However, the other big story for the Cavaliers is, I don't know why this shit keeps disconnecting. The other story for the Cavaliers, Tyler B with the 499. Good morning, GOAT. Do you think the Jazz having buyer's remorse on Williams and wish Connect was on their roster instead? Have a greater day. Yeah, they're probably having buyer's remorse on Cody Williams. I don't know if they wish they had Connect, though. They like want to be bad. I don't know. Probably buyer's remorse on Cody Williams, though, for sure. Their court looked like a Windows 95 screensaver. So I am interested why the Celtics court has all of these like detailed on it when no other court does. Is there a reason for that? I do kind of think the green looks nice though. However, if we're going to do that thing with the Cavs, right, with all of their guys who could potentially play the 3 for them, and that's something that they should probably look to upgrade, right? I've long thought, even last year, even maybe a little bit before that, Cam Johnson, my Lord, Cam Johnson on this Cavs team would be so great. I just don't know if they have the pieces required to make it happen. But if they don't for Cam Johnson, I think Dorian Finney-Smith on the Nets is also somebody who really, really could help them out. They really need somebody that they can just plug and play at the 3 and not really have to worry about it. And they've done pretty well so far in that regard. You know, Dean Wade, I like what Dean Wade brings to the table. I think he's a good defender. Just a questionable shot from time to time. Isn't Dorian Finney-Smith shooting 25% for 3? Yeah, but you plug him in and you don't really have to worry about him. You know? That's the reality. But the other story in this game for the Cavs, Darius Garland, 8 points, 3 of 21 from the field. So DG the PG, who's had an incredible start to the season, in a lot of ways, you know, looking like the player we all thought that he would become. Last year was a bit rocky for him for one reason or another, but DG the PG finally has rounded out into form, and last night he was really, really rough. And, you know, I just think it was a tough night for him, just not making shots. Some people said the lights look too bright. I don't know if I would say that, to be honest with you. I hope that he keeps his confidence, and I hope that he just bounces back. The good news for the Cavs is they play again tonight against the Pelicans, which we'll talk about the Pelicans here in a bit, are an absolutely awful team. Okay? God bless them, but an absolutely awful team in their current form. So it could be a bounce-back game. But you look at all of these things for the Cavs, and you say, all right, so obviously we wanted to win this game. We were 15-0. We wanted to win this game. We wanted to prove to everyone. I mean, everyone already thinks we're great, but we wanted to prove to everyone, no, we might be the best team in the East, actually. Start having those conversations. We lose by 3 on the road to what most people would consider the best team in the league without really any of the guys we would consider starting at the 3 for us. Darius Garland had one of the worst games of his life. And Donovan Mitchell, who did ramp up in the third quarter, wasn't like incredible. We're gonna be fine. We're going to be fine. If you're the Celtics, you think, yeah, we still have Kristaps Porzingis coming back. I don't know, man. I'm really happy with this start for the Cavs season. I'm happy that they are sparking a debate as to whether or not they could be the team that comes out the East. I just don't see a team beating the Celtics, man. I really don't. it's struggle. It's a pain to say, man. But in a game like this, right? They got slaughtered in the key to minutes, and he's been solid for them so far this season. But they put him in the third quarter, and boom, the Cavs went on this ginormous run. They went on a ginormous run to close the gap. That's gonna be Kristaps Porzingis here in like a month. Drew Holiday is the worst starter. This team is a dynasty. Yeah, it just would be really surprising to me if at the end of the season it's not the Celtics winning again. Who's leading sixth man of the year rankings? Is it Pritchard? Pritchard's got to be up there. I mean, let's just look at the odds right now. It's kind of silly to look at this stuff now, but I would have to imagine that he's high up there. I'm trying to think of who else would be in the running currently. I think the Cavs are a better team than the Celtics. If the Cavs can upgrade their three at the trade deadline, I think they do have a chance to beat this team in a series. Pritchard right now is a pretty heavy favorite over Buddy Hield. But I mean, it is still so early in the season. None of this shit really matters. No, Lively is not going to be somebody who's really considered for sixth man of the year. Although he is on here at plus 3,000. There was a questionable play where Tatum, definitely a hard foul on Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell coming off of a ball screen. Tatum jumped out a little bit, little shoulder to the face. Surprised that was not reviewed. But Donovan Mitchell, bloodied up a little bit after that. Was that a dirty play? Definitely a hard foul. Don't know if I would say dirty. Explain why Jason Tatum annoys me so much. Tatum goes under the radar here when we talk about guys like this, but Tatum complains a lot. Tatum is a big-time complainer. A big-time complainer. He's one of the bigger ones that there is in the league. But he had another great game last night, 33 points. I mean, he's been solid, man. He's been solid as fuck this season. The officiating last night was horrific. That's just been a common thread so far this season. What is it, though? There was 3 nights in a row where there was a buzzer beater or a game winner. And in all 3 of those game winners, the last 2-minute report came out and said, yeah, that shouldn't have happened. You had the Tatum travel in the game against the Raptors. You had the Julius Randle travel / potential push off in the game against the Suns. And then in the Bucks Rockets game a couple nights ago, when Giannis, or I guess Dame got a bucket late to win the game. Giannis was standing out of bounds. Should have called it. That's where I'm like, get rid of the 2-minute report, please. Like, what purpose does this shit serve? To piss people off? Because then all that happens is these NBA aggregator accounts just tweet about it, and then it goes viral. People who didn't even watch the fucking game nor care, right, start talking about it. This is why I'm not watching. It's just a little annoying. Refs almost gave the Celtics the ball when it was off Tatum. They spent like 5 minutes to find out when I could figure it out in 2 seconds. Yep, that's also a major problem that the league has. Also a major problem. So anyways, the Cavs were missing like 4 rotation players here. And I thought they played admirably. And I would leave this as a Cavs fan feeling pretty good. I would also leave this as a Celtics fan feeling pretty good. So just it lived up to the hype. It really did. It was a really, really fun game. And I like the Celtics court. I feel like Celtics at a certain point always go ice cold, and that's when the Cavs came back. The only way the Celtics lose is they beat themselves. Yeah, if we look at the 3-point disparity in this game, the Celtics only 41 threes. I mean, that's kind of low for them. They have games where they're in the mid-50s, but 22 of 41 from 3. Like 53% from 3. And the Cavs, 10 of 29. I don't think people truly understand what getting outscored in the three-point territory by 36 fucking points, how difficult that is to overcome. 36 points is the difference from three-point land. And the Celtics just generate great three-point shot after great three-point shot. And if Tatum's hitting his pull-up jumpers, then it gets really, really scary. So, this in-season tournament courts are starting to look cool to me. Don't mind them as much as I did last year. They're much better than last year. They're much more toned down. What is more demoralizing, that three-point difference or a huge rebounding difference? I think when you're watching a game, a big rebounding disparity, especially if the other team's getting a ton of offensive rebounds, hurts more. But over the course of a game, mathematically, I'm just going to assume it's much more difficult to overcome the three-point shooting disparity. Much more difficult. Evan Mobley pretty much closed the gap by himself last night. He's been really fucking good this year, man. Really good. Just glad we haven't seen any bizarre slipping on the courts this year. Yeah, thank God for that. (15-1). Ain't nothing wrong with that. Let's talk about some of these other games before we get into the Mavs Pelicans, which I'll actually spend some time talking about the Mavs Pelicans game. Usually don't spend too much time on slightly early talking about them because I usually make videos and stuff, but I didn't stream it last night. I'm not going to make a video about this game, so I think I'm going to make a video today, hopefully, about Franz Wagner. What do you guys think about that? I think it's time I gloat a little bit, my Franz agenda. The Nets Hornets. Real quickly here. So LaMelo Ball does not close this game. It ended up being a close game. Our guy Grant Williams had a hilarious moment at the end of this game where he took a layup with 1 second left when the Hornets were down 2. We're down 3. Now I want to bail him out here, and I want to shoot Grant Williams a tiny bit of bail. I don't think he got an offensive rebound, and I don't think he was in a position. I don't think he was in a position to pass out. And he took the layup to close the gap for in-season tournament scoring. I honest to God think that's what he did. Knowing Grant Williams, I bet that's what he did. Honestly. That makes sense in my brain. The moment LaMelo got out, Miller popped off. Do they have a problem together? It's probably a bit of a learning curve for Brandon Miller. I mean, we got to remember last year when he was playing his best basketball towards the end of the season, it was with LaMelo out. So now he's got to adjust for that. Trey Mann had a disgusting poster in this game, by the way. And Trey Mann had played well. He's been up and down so far this season. You know, he had that great opening night game, and we were like, oh my God, he looks like Allen Iverson. Like, this is insane. The moment LaMelo, didn't the coach bench LaMelo? I didn't watch that one. Yeah, I mean, they said down the stretch that the Hornets kind of made a comeback towards the end of the game to make this close, and they just kept LaMelo off the court. And basically the reasoning was Trey Mann was making more plays for us, and we just kept them out there, which is interesting because, you know, LaMelo's obviously been great so far to start the season, but that's what Charles Lee wanted to do, and I think he's been a pretty, you know, solid head coach. I think they play good basketball under him. So, but the Nets, another one of these wins, they're 6-9. Cam Johnson has just been unbelievable this season. Mikal Bridges leaves and Cam Johnson spreads his wings and flies. 34 points. I used to think that there was maybe, hopefully, a world where a team like the Mavericks could swoop in and get Cam Johnson for maybe less value than you would think, and it would turn out being a great value trade. I think that ship has fucking sailed. I think he's somebody who's going to fetch. Could you see a team give up 2 first-round picks for Cam Johnson? I don't think it's that impossible. So it was a year early on Cam. We always saw the vision, man. As per usual. Dodo's been playing well lately as well. So all of the guys you want to play well for potential trades are playing well. That's what's great for the Nets currently. 2 firsts is wild. It does sound wild, but if it gets into a bidding war for a guy like Cam Johnson, and one of these teams with a ton of assets swoops in, is like, hey, here's 2 firsts. Like, let's stop fucking around. Maybe a decent first and a shitty first. Bro, what is this? That is next to unbelievable. Oh, man. Can Orlando afford Cam Johnson? I don't know if the Magic should be calling the Nets for sure. but it needs to be about Mr. Dennis Schroeder. That much I know for certain. The Nuggets, without Jokic, who have looked like lost puppies in these games without Jokic, pull off a win on the road against the Memphis Grizzlies. The Grizzlies continue this Russell Westbrook's 200th career triple-double. Congratulations, Mr. Russell Westbrook. They had a hilarious picture of him imitating the Wilt Chamberlain 100 thing, but they did not use a Sharpie, so you could barely see what the fucking paper said. But congratulations, Russell Westbrook. Are you still a Thunder stan? Stan? No. But I still like him. I still have a soft spot for him. But just a much needed win against this Grizzlies team. I'm going to be full 100% honest. I did not watch a second of this game. So I don't really know what to say about it. But that's it. Are Nuggets fans proclaiming Jamal Murray is back yet? So I'm happy you said that, because I've seen people say that Mavericks fans are harder on their own players than any other fan. No fan base treats their players gets mad at their players like this. I will say I follow quite a bit of Nuggets accounts. You are incorrect. You are wrong. Okay? I'll just leave it at that. You are very wrong. Did you see Michelle Beadle's pronunciation of Nuggets? I think I saw the clip you're talking about. Give me your first take opinion on this game, since you watched the same amount of Nuggets versus Grizzlies as they did. All right, my first take opinion, Nuggets, Grizzlies, without watching the game. All right, here it comes. Here it goes. Jokic is dominating so far this season. He goes on the road and beats the Memphis Grizzlies. John Morant was nowhere to be seen in this game, but Jokic pulled it out on the road in a much-needed win for the Denver Nuggets. How's that? And then the next day, whatever, they have to make an apology because everyone on Twitter is like, what the fuck are you talking about? Here's what they say. Guys, I was thinking of another game. That's my fault. I was up late last night. Didn't get a lot of sleep. I messed up. My bad. Jokic's aura carried them to a win. His aura was still rubbing off on the team. Wasn't there a moment like that last year? Who was it? Someone was talking about a game, and they were just they're talking about players who weren't even playing in the game or weren't even on the team anymore. I forgot about it. The Spurs, who are now 7-8. At what point in the season are the Spurs? It's just tough in the Western Conference, but should we take the Spurs seriously as a potential play-in threat? 7-8. The Thunder are now 11-4, and I think that they're starting to feel the ramifications of not having any bigs whatsoever. I think it's really starting to feel the ramifications of some of this. Shea with another 30-piece. J-Dub played, 27 points on 13 of 26. So this is what I say about the J-Dub stuff. It's what he said after the Mavs game. His numbers can look good sometimes, but you don't feel it. You don't feel like he has this second scoring option prowess sometimes that you really need. And maybe it's just my brain after seeing him in the playoffs last year. I have to wait until I see it in the playoffs before I'm ready to make a definitive statement on anything. Spurs would be good into February, mainly because of their youth. So speaking of their youth, Stephon Castle, man. This dude makes so many plays and so many things happen. I know his stat line in this game was not the best. 10 points on 3 of 13, 8 assists, 7 turnovers. But his feel for the game is so impressive to me as a rookie guard. He's a great defender, obviously. And I think Chris Paul, playing with Chris Paul, is really going to have a lasting effect for him. I really like him. And Chris Paul was great in this game as well. They can be fun from time to time. This Spurs team. It is funny that this is pretty much the same team that the Mavericks just annihilated a few nights ago. Keldon Johnson had a disgusting poster. So the Mavs being 2-0 versus Spurs is good. Yeah, I think we'll look back on it. Caruso. All right, so here's the thing about Caruso. Is Thunder fans will say, dude, the defense. Okay, great, right? You guys need to understand, you're not an 82 game team anymore. You're a 16 game team. Okay? We know you're going to be in the playoffs. We know you're going to be a top seed. You're contending for a championship. You watch any basketball. You watch any postseason basketball. You know a guy like Caruso, how he's been playing so far this season, how horrendous he's been offensively, is going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem. If you have a guy who is just somebody you don't even have to account for in the slightest, you're going to have a problem, man. So Caruso needs to figure it out. It's cool that he's, doing great stuff defensively. We already expect that out of him. But he's got to get going offensively. And then the Lakers beat the Jazz 124-118 on the PP court. Whose idea was it for these yellow fucking courts? Did they have these last year too? The yellow? These are awful. The P courts suck. Them and the Hawks. I mean, terrible. Just terrible. Dehydration? Yeah, the court needs some water. You think it's better than the super dark courts? I like LeBron and AD, but that 10-4 record feels incredibly fake. It does, and here's why. Okay, we're going to poo-poo on the Lakers a little bit here before we talk good about them. Their defense sucks. And it doesn't feel like this is something that they could, it doesn't feel like this is something that will last over the course of a full season. Their defense is horrendous. Okay, they're 20th in defensive rating. Now, if we go off of that number that we've talked about with the Mavericks, the win differential stat on cleaning the glass, where they kind of look at your efficiency numbers, your offensive rating, your defensive rating, tries to figure out what your record should be versus what it is. The Mavericks are dead last. They should have 3 more wins. God, if the Mavericks were 11-4, I'd be talking so much shit. But the Lakers should have 2 less wins than they currently have, which would put them at 8-6. And that's probably closer to about where they are. That's probably about closer to where they are as a team. 8-6. Good team. Really good offensively. Really, really good offensively, but defensively bad. I mean, they have to start Cam Reddish because their defense is so terrible. And Cam Reddish cannot be a guy for you, man. I'm sorry. Can't be. And they're talking about Dalton Connect. Rui's not playing in this game. So they're talking about when Rui comes back, Connect has to start, and Rui has to come off the bench. Man, just start Connect and Rui. Like, this idea that Cam Reddish has to be in our starting 5 is fucking nonsensical. Get him out. Get him out. But Connect with 37 points, 9 of 12 from 3. Man, he's a shooter, huh? I mean, he's a heat check guy. Some of those threes he was hitting, and you could just tell. You could tell, like, I was watching the Jazz broadcast, and you could just tell the moment he touched the ball, they were like, fuck. How is that every team Reddish is on, the fans are so high on him? I'm not sure Lakers fans are necessarily high on him. I think it's more so they feel like we have to have some type of defense in our starting 5. Rookie of the year. Yeah, I mean, the Rookie of the Year, I feel like the Rookie of the Year race is just going to swing endlessly. Right now, it would have to be Jared McCain. But I could see, as Embiid comes back and Maxey and Paul George are all back and playing, McCain's role is obviously going to go down. Blessings. Smash that like button before you forget, brothers and sisters. Yes, like. All right, let's get into the marquee matchup of the night. The amount of people on Twitter I saw talking about this game. I mean, the ratings for this Pelicans Mavs game had to be bare minimum 24 to 27 million viewers. 24 to 27 million viewers. It would have to be my guess. And that's not even accounting for illegal streams. Salute, Philip. Salute. Maybe one of the most anticipated games of all time. So let's just start here with the court. See it here? I was in person, right? A few rows up. About over here-ish. 4th, 5th, 6th row behind the basket. I think the blue court looked really clean, actually. I didn't know what I was going to feel about it. I thought it looked really good in person, and then going back and watching some of this game, I thought it looked really good. I really think that it looked really good. There's just something about the blue. Now, I will say, I don't like the color combination of the jerseys. I don't like that the Mavericks went with their navy blue jerseys with these. Why not go with the white? I don't understand why not go with your alternate jerseys with these, but all right, whatever. That's neither here nor there. The Mavericks win the game by 41 points, which, by the way, is probably going to have some implications down the line, assuming the Mavericks, if the Mavericks were to win out in the cup play, which they have to play the Nuggets and the Grizzlies still. If they were to win those two games, they have a pretty decent chance. They have a pretty decent chance of moving on in the NBA Cup because they currently have the highest point differential in the Cup. And point differential will matter. Yes. I think it's pretty hard to win your group with a loss. So they'd have to be a wild card team. But I want them to make it. I do. I think it'd be fun. But let's talk about this game. Let's just start here. Let's just get this out the way. This Pelicans team, I actually genuinely feel really bad for Pelicans fans. What do you even say about something like this? This is not an NBA team. I mean, it's not. I went to the game last night. Doesn't it look lighter in person? The court, yes, it does. But look at the starting five here. Brandon Ingram, who the Mavs were double teaming him. I mean, he could not get his shit off to save his life. And it really wasn't his fault. Yves Missy's in the starting five. He had a nice block. I don't think he really did much of anything in this game. Trey Murphy had a couple of nice shots, but again, he's somebody who kind of needs stuff created for him and is just a better player when, there's other guys around him and he can space the floor. Brandon Boston Jr. is getting 30 minutes. Javonte Green, 30 minutes. Jalen Noel, 21 minutes. And I have to say this, and I mean this nicely as possible. I never thought Jalen Noel was that great of an NBA player. Great basketball player, very talented offensive player, but not great of a basketball player. And this was 4 or 5 fucking years ago. Okay? He was awful last night. I can't believe it. I can't believe he's getting real rotation minutes in the NBA in 2024. They picked up Elfrid Payton today. The Pelicans picked up Elfrid Payton today. Oh my God. It's just tough. I really don't know what you would say to a Pelicans fan right now, other than my bad. If you're a Pelicans fan, honestly, what's the point of watching? What is the point of watching at this point in time? Anyways. The Dallas Mavericks get a 41-point win, a nice little get-right game. I thought Luka looked really, really good in this game physically. It says 30 minutes here, but he did play under 30 minutes. It was 29 minutes, 30 seconds. So that's good that he was able to get out there, get a win. We've talked about Luka this season, obviously. It hasn't looked physically right. It could be because of an injury, which is definitely possible. Could be because he's just, didn't play in the preseason, so he's not really in game shape just yet. Could be a mixture of things. He did get the game off against the Thunder a couple nights ago, and I thought this was some of the best. So Hoops taking shots at you again about Luka's defense after the game. He's tweeted about me every day for the last week. It's getting kind of weird and pathetic, but it is what it is. What did I say about Luka's defense after the game? Anyways, I don't care really. But I thought Luka played really well, honestly. If Luka gives effort on defense, this team is unstoppable. Well, this is a matchup. The Mavericks defensively, you look, their defensive rating is incredible this season. And it kind of like, it doesn't feel like it because they've had games where their defense has been awful. Part of that has been Derek Lively's missed time. PJ Washington has missed time. And those are probably your two most important defenders on the entire team. So when those two guys are out together, that really hurt you. But when they play a team like this, a team like the Pelicans, who are very isolated heavy, you know, obviously they don't have a lot of offensive talent to begin with, so you're supposed to dominate in a game like this. But they run a lot of ISO. They don't really space the floor. They don't play a 5-out offense. This Mavs defense is going to look great in those games. They're going to look so good in games like this, where they can kind of park a big in the middle of the paint. You don't have to worry about too many off-ball actions. And, you know, the Mavs can just kind of take care of business. Because that is, like, the thing about Luka. Luka is a good, solid ISO defender and genuinely maybe a great post defender. Okay, that's his size. That's his length. That's his basketball IQ. And he had a couple of steals last night. 3 steals and a block. It felt like more than that, honestly. And a couple deflections playing the passing lanes. So, yeah, there are matchups like this where the Mavs defense is just going to look incredible. Because if you look at their like game log, the defensive rating, they had a 122 defensive rating against the Thunder. Why? The Thunder, especially when they're small, space the floor, and that makes life difficult on this Mavericks team, who again likes to park a big in the paint. So if Lively or Gafford are out on the perimeter having to defend, well, you know what that means. Also, Luka didn't play in that game. 122 defensive rating. Luka plays in this game at a 91 defensive rating. 97 defensive rating against the Spurs team. Same thing. No Wemby. But then a stretch of really bad defensive games. Phoenix just terrible rebounding in that game against the Suns. Denver, a 125 defensive rating. PJ didn't play in that game. Golden State Warriors, 116 defensive rating. Horrible on the glass. Utah, 121 defensive rating. Really embarrassing game. Horrible on the glass. The Mavs are 6th in defensive rating, 7th in offensive rating, 6th in net rating, and are 8-7. Yeah, they're going to figure some stuff out. They are for sure going to figure some stuff out. I will say, you look at their defensive rating, they haven't like played great defense yet against a good team. Like they're just look at this game log. They're just beating up on horrible teams. But that's, hey, you gotta pad the stats. You have to pad the stats. Timberwolves, I mean, they had a 117 defensive rating in that game. That's not very good. This early season Timberwolves team is not a great team anyways. Mavs used to lose to bad team. Well, they did lose to the Jazz, but yes, you are right though. But anyways, Klay Thompson looked really good in this game as well, knocking down threes, 5 of 9 from deep. You know, when he's hitting threes, this offense is just going to be so hard to stop. And Luka getting downhill, you know, had a couple of kickouts. He led to we got a Luka lob in this game. We had another almost Luka lob that should have been a lob where he threw it up to Jaden Hardy and Jaden Hardy missed it. Luka had a couple of kickouts to the corner. You know, those are all the stuff that are staples of this offense. Connor, 11 months. Glad I'm finally available for one of these. Welcome in, Connor. We're happy to have you. Obviously, you do have to preface it by saying this is a really shitty Pelicans team, right? But they took care of business. And Kyrie, 18 points, 7 assists, 6 of 11 from the field. Hit a couple, 4 of 5 from 3, man. He's up to, 56% from 3 so far this season? I really want him to make an all-star game. I tweeted that out last night, and I had a bunch of, I'm assuming, like, Kyrie fans. And the replies were like, well, this is a lock. It isn't a lock. I'm telling you right now, it's not a lock. I think there's still, like, a notion about Kyrie Irving that's going to be hard for him to shake. But also, it is a loaded conference with a lot of guards. Mavs haven't had a disaster game against a good team yet, maybe except Rockets. I mean, their only like disaster game this season has been that Jazz game. But this is what we've been saying. Even in their losses, they've been competitive. But Quentin Grimes was also really good last night, and he's been really solid for you. And you just see the souped up version. This is why I didn't really compare. I like the comparisons to Josh Green. I just don't really see they're going to play like similar roles on the Mavericks, but they're not similar players to me. Quentin Grimes just is capable of doing much more with the ball in his hands. He's quicker. He gets over screens much better than Josh Green. I mean, that's not even up for fucking debate. And I would say Josh Green's probably, even though Quentin Grimes did have a nice pass in a pick and roll in this game, I think Josh Green's a bit of a better playmaker. I just think they play a little different games. I really like Grimes. He's more of a prototypical 3-and-D. Yeah, Josh Green's like a transition player and stuff like that. But I really like what Grimes has given the Mavericks so far this season. Jason Tatum's the MVP. I mean, Jokic is going to run away with the MVP. Going to run away with it. Grimes has better handles. Yes, I would agree with that as well. There's more self-creation upside with Grimes than there is with Josh Green by a comfortable margin. Aren't the Mavs like 2 score stops from winning each of their losses? Yes, they lost 4 straight games by a singular possession. 4 straight. So anyways, did I miss anybody? Did I miss anyone? Did I miss talking good about anybody? Najee Marshall's floater is hilarious. And it was really funny watching it. It's funny watching on the broadcast, but sitting baseline behind the basket, seeing like the angles in which he gets these shots off, it does not make any sense. Like, it doesn't make any sense how he's so consistent with these shots. They look very difficult to make, but he just makes it happen. Very minor. I like to see it. Omex had a nasty dunk at the end. Yeah, Omex did have a nasty dunk. Jaden Hardy attacking the rim. Luka should steal back the MVP from Jokic to make it even. There's still a lot of season left to play. Luka's got a run in him. Luka's got a run in him. I know it. Grimes rebounding is something to watch. He tries on the glass, too. That was something Josh Green was really good at, though, as well. Like making hustle plays on the glass, keeping possessions alive. All right, let's close this out by talking about this shit show in Philadelphia. Nick Sirianni. The Joel Embiid stuff, man. What the hell is happening here with the Philadelphia 76ers? So, they lose a couple of nights ago and drop to now 2-11 on the season. Now, if you watched the game a couple nights ago, which I did against the Miami Heat, first and foremost, I want to say, our boy Joe Star tweeted out a couple weeks ago who's the most improved player in the league so far. I threw out Tyler Hero's name. Just something to think about, folks. Huh? Just something to think about. Okay? That's all I'll say on the matter. But anyways, the Sixers are now 2-11 on the season. And naturally, we get a team meeting directly afterwards, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with the team meeting. Team meeting doesn't necessarily... Anytime I see a team have a team meeting and it gets leaked out, people online are always like, get your trades ready, mock trades. Team meetings can be good. Like, they can be good for the morale of the team. No, obviously it's not a great sign because it means things aren't going right. But, that's what teams do. It's a long season. You got to get guys right. Yvonne, thank you for the 8 months. Mavs 3-0 when you go to games. Yeah. You see it. Team meetings for sure happen all the time. Right? Now, what is unusual about a team meeting, though, I will say, and what is definitely not a good sign, is the details of your meeting leaking 12 hours later. Not even 12 hours later. That is where you start to run into problems. That's where you start to say, all right, something is fucked up here. Players only meeting or team meeting? I'm not sure. I think it was a team meeting. Players only meeting, typically, again, I wouldn't say is that rare or uncommon, and I don't think it usually means much. Players only meeting, though, I would say, Coach, you better watch your fucking back. Your ass is probably about to get fired somewhat soon. But a team meeting where we find out what happens immediately. It's not just like, hey, we called out some guys, but we quoting what was said to certain guys, especially when what was said was one of your best players, Tyrese Maxey, shitting on your franchise player, Joel Embiid. This is insane to me that this leaked immediately. And there's been some speculation that it might be Nick Nurse because the quote, the leaker said elephant in the room. And Nick Nurse apparently uses that phrase all the time. Now, elephant in the room is a pretty common phrase. And I definitely feel like with when you're talking about like a team meeting, elephant in the room is something that's going to be said all the time. So that's not that weird to me. But let's read this. This is from Shams Charania. Amid a 2-11 start that has them in last place in the Eastern Conference, that is fucking crazy. I saw a Trill Bro dude, friend of the show, tweet out, Sixers fan, that if you had told him before the season Jared McCain was as good as he was, he would think that they were a super team. And he would think that they were like damn near undefeated. Imagine McCain vlogged the whole meeting. Hey, what's up, guys? We're having a team meeting right now. We're all shitting on Joel Embiid. Embiid, you fat fuck! PG went from one star with chronic issues to another star with chronic knee issues. Maybe with Paul George, the question becomes, if everywhere you go smells like shit, maybe it's time to check your shoe. Think about it. I mean, I know he's joking, but he on his podcast, which, by the way, is there anything worse? I'm so happy that nobody on the Mavericks does a podcast. But is there anything worse than a player podcast when your team stinks? I could say this right now. As a Cowboys fan, there's nothing more annoying to me than Micah Parsons' shit podcast reaching my Twitter feed after the Cowboys embarrass themselves yet again. But Paul George, I know he was joking, but said when they played the Clippers that he was like, I was so pissed off they were double teaming me. Or no, maybe it was the Lakers. I don't remember which game he was talking about. Where's the member button? Am I dumb? There should be a link in the description. But anyways, let's read this. The loss of the team's fourth in a row, sparking veteran guard Kyle Lowry to call for the meeting. So we already know who called for the meeting. I mean, we know every detail about this meeting. A much-needed heart-to-heart and a call to action and urgency, sources told ESPN. Players and coaches held each other accountable and took fault in the start to the season. All right, nothing out of the ordinary just yet. Maxey, and here's where we get juicy immediately. Maxey challenged Embiid to be on time to team activities, calling out the 2022-23 league MVP about being late for everything and how it impacts the locker room. From other players to the coaching staff, sources briefed on the meeting told ESPN. Maxey and Embiid have a close friendship and a history of holding each other accountable, according to those around the team. Tyrese loves big fella, but this is the elephant in the room, a person involved in the meeting told ESPN. Players told 76ers coach Nick Nurse they want to be coached harder, and coaches in turn said they want players to practice with purpose and attention to detail. All right, Nick Nurse definitely leaked this then. All right, we got to the bottom of that. One. I can just tell from that quote right there that was definitely Nick Nurse. Skinny Bob, welcome to the Slightly Delusional Club. Hey, salute. Embiid accepted the messages sent in the meeting, sources said, but he stated that he is sometimes confused about what the 76ers are attempting to execute on the court. So, look, the Embiid stuff. Oh, man. Look. For all of this shit Luka gets about not being in shape, not being ready to start seasons, whatever the case may be, I don't think it's anything remotely on the level of Joel Embiid. Nothing remotely on the level of Embiid. we don't know what's really going on. And my just outside analysis, I feel like, is that he has a knee problem that's way worse than they're letting on. Because I'm confused as to what's happened here. How did he miss several weeks entering the season in an effort to ramp up to be ready for the season? And I know, like, there's nothing competes with, like, actually getting on the court and playing in terms of, like, getting into shape. But if you watch this game against the Heat, he looked fucking terrible. Like, he looks awful. It looks like he hasn't ran in 3 months. Like, what is this ramp? What was the ramp up process exactly? He is playing like he has 2-3 years left in him. Fuck that. Like, he's playing like his prime is done. Like, I don't want to be that. That is very reactionary. But from what we've seen from Embiid so far this season, he's looked terrible. And when we combine that with this strange ramp up process that he had to go through in the lead up to the season, yeah, I'd be very worried. I'd be very, very concerned and scared if I were a Sixers fan that there's some like underlying knee problem that's just never going to get solved. And wouldn't you know it, our window has slammed shut. He didn't shoot a free throw in this game against the Heat, guys. And look, we could talk about the Embiid flopping and all of this stuff, foul baiting and flailing, but he typically goes to the free throw line so much because he's so dominant. It is annoying when he flops and stuff. But sometimes you have no other option but to foul him. And when he's just not being aggressive at all, that's where you start to say, okay, what the hell is going on here exactly? What the hell is going on here? Who's to blame? Is Joel Embiid cooked? Should we be scared about Joel Embiid? Does Joel Embiid have a problem? Would you trade Embiid for Powell right now? No. But anyways, so I find this interesting. I mean, players calling out their other players. Tyrese Maxey, from a lot of what I've heard about the Sixers team, Tyrese Maxey is like the lifeblood of the team, right? So Maxey calling out Embiid, not that big of a problem. Maybe you can look into Embiid being late for everything. I don't know. I mean, we're not there. We don't know what the fuck that even means. But, damn, the Embiid stuff is just kind of disheartening. I got to be honest with you. Because it feels like he's one of these players that when it ends, it just ends. I think we all kind of imagine riding off into the sunset stuff with these guys. And Embiid, to me, feels like one of those players where it's just gone. Like one day, it's just the physicality, you know, the quickness, the ability to like physically dominate guys just disappears. Partho with the $4.99. The report of Joel not understanding the offense is so much funnier now. Yeah, man, you weren't there when they explained it. yeah, I've seen people say that. That is pretty funny. That is pretty funny. I saw this again. These are the dumbest things. The odds if a player gets traded, where are they going? Are these ever accurate? Ever? Do not think they're going to trade Embiid. But the Pacers are number 1 at plus 200. What? The Mavericks have the 4th best odds here. What? There's no world where I can imagine the Mavericks doing something like this. No world whatsoever. Trading for Joel Embiid. That's something it sounds like the Heat would do. The Pelicans. Pacers have a package though. What would all right, let's get into the slop. What would a Joel Embiid trade package look like right now? Like right this second. Right this second. If it just got to a point where it was like, we have to trade Embiid. There's actually the reports weren't that accurate. There was a full-fledged fist fight in the locker room during this players only meeting. We have to trade Embiid. Like, we have to trade him. There's just these things are spiraling. We need to trade him now. What is a package look like? Lively cap filler in the 2029 first. Is it fucking crazy to say I don't think I would want to do that if I'm the Mavericks? Like, it feels very scary tying yourself to Embiid at this point. Hartenstein, Lou Dort, Ousmane Dieng, and 5 first-round picks. Miles Turner, Jarris Walker, Andrew Nembhard, 2 first-round picks. All right, now that you mentioned the Pacers, that I can kind of see that. Like Miles Turner. It's not that I wouldn't trade Lively for Embiid. I would just be scared of getting into that business. Yeah, and that is the Clay, Kyrie, Embiid. Like, you pretty much have to win a championship now. I don't know. But interesting. We'll see. The Sixers, do they play tonight? They play the Grizzlies tonight in Memphis. Their next week or two will tell us a lot. If they keep kind of struggling and looking like they're sleepwalking, Paul George hasn't looked good at all. If it looks like they're still kind of like sleepwalking, we have something to be very concerned about. Very, very concerned. If they come out, guns a-blazing over the next couple weeks, then we can say, all right, I think they're figuring some shit out and they're going to be good to go. But we shall see. I was worried that Kyrie would look older this year, but he's been phenomenal. Yeah, Kyrie's fucking awesome. Who's the alpha? Maxey? I mean, there's been like reports that Maxey's kind of the guy in terms of like the locker room stuff. Kyrie's going to age like Steph. Maybe. I mean, Kyrie is so cerebral. Like, he's a great shooter as well. That stuff really never leaves you. He is like, you don't think of Kyrie as the explosive athlete you think of other guards, but Kyrie is a phenomenal athlete and relies a lot on that quickness and that quick twitch. So that does make me feel like there will be a time when that leaves him and he's not as good of a player. But yeah, he'll still have incredible handles. Still going to be a great tough shot maker. But I mean, he's 32. It's not like he's 35. I feel like there's still 3 years of great Kyrie Irving basketball left in him. Which is long enough for a solid championship window. All right, guys, if you're listening, let's go over the games tonight. Let's go over the games tonight. A pretty busy slate across the NBA. You have the Pelicans and the Cavs. The Cavs have a chance to start a new winning streak tonight at home. The Pelicans, somebody in my chat just said that Trey Murphy and Brandon Ingram are out in this game. Is that true? Who the fuck's going to be playing? How are the Cavs only 14.5-point favorites? I would say they're probably going to win this game by 30. Chicago and Milwaukee in Milwaukee. That game's on ESPN for some reason. Indiana versus Houston. I'd rather see that on ESPN. Philly versus Memphis. I'd rather see that on ESPN. Portland versus Oklahoma City. Knicks Suns. Ooh, that's a fun one. In Phoenix, Atlanta, Golden State, and Orlando against the Clippers. So a pretty decent slate of games tonight. If you guys are listening to this on Spotify, leave a 5-star review. I love you. Wow, the Mavericks don't play again until Friday? I did not know that. Okay, nice. I wanted to do I fucked up. I should have done a League Pass stream on Monday. Ended up not doing it. Was a little bit tired. I'm going to a dinner tonight, so I can't do a League Pass stream tonight. I fucked up. I should have done it on Monday. That's my bad. I didn't realize that. All right. Interesting. Dinner with Trump. Haley Van Lith. Hey. Hey, I don't kiss and tell. Okay. Oh, man. That was about Trump, by the way. No, I got a family dinner. Don't you know what? Don't worry about what I've got going on. Why does it seem like every team above the Mavs in the standings are playing Eastern Conference team more often than us? The Mavs have had a kind of a tough schedule. Wait, is Derek Lively really red-pilled? You love us wanting to know what you got going on? Maybe. You got me. Can we get a slightly Friendsgiving special? Maybe. I got a busy Thanksgiving day. That could be fun. We'll think about something. We'll think about something to do. Let me get that jersey from the other night slightly. The one I wore last night? Not gonna lie, bro. It's expensive. I'm a little bit upset the Mavs don't play till Friday. We're gonna have to figure out a I am kind of brain broken, honestly. Just kind of brain broken as to how much I missed streaming last night while I was at the game. Saw the cabinet pick for the White House ambassador of basketball. We're in talks. There's a lot going on. Trying to stage a coup from within if I do get involved. That's all I'll say. So blocking off his calendar to watch Cowboys on Thanksgiving? Fuck no. Absolutely not. Favorite Thanksgiving food item? So, just off the rip, I'm not like a huge fan of Thanksgiving food. I'm just going to be honest with you. Turkey just doesn't really do it for me. I mean, fried turkey's good, but like, just going to be honest. I don't really love turkey. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't really love potatoes. So, immediately off the rip, I'm like 0 for 2 on like the two main pieces of a Thanksgiving feast. Now, that's not to say I don't dislike potatoes. Scalloped potatoes are so good. My Mimi makes these scalloped potatoes, cheesy scalloped potatoes that are fucking delicious. Okay. So I like that. Mashed potatoes, I don't really like mashed potatoes. I'm just going to be honest with you. Like, mashed potatoes are just a vehicle for gravy, if we're being honest, and I don't really like gravy that much. Sweet potato pie is delicious. I make a little sweet potato casserole. That's my contributions usually. And it's delicious. I'm gonna be real. I don't really like mashed potatoes. Like, I'm gonna be honest, man. You guys want me to be honest with you? I'm gonna be honest with you. Green bean casserole, I'm in. I'm in on green bean casserole. What is it? Green beans and some bacon bits and some fried onion or some French onions. Give me some of that. I love it. And you want to know what's crazy? I fucking hate pumpkin pie. I hate pumpkin pie. And I hate deviled eggs. I'm gonna be real. And what's funny is somebody said chicken nugget diet. Oh, what's funny is I would like to think I have a very open palate. I love really any type of food, any type of culture of food. I will eat anything, man. Like, one of my best friends is Nigerian. Anytime, we go to his house, or anytime he has like a family thing and there's Nigerian food, it is fucking incredible. I love Indian food. I love any type of Asian food. Thanksgiving just doesn't do it for me, though. Don't believe it? Believe it! Pumpkin pie stinks, dude. I'm sorry. I really am sorry. Why do I have to pretend like pumpkin pie's good? And you know what? I know some of you guys are fucking frauds. Because I guarantee you, if I see your pumpkin pie dish, like your plate with pumpkin pie on it, I promise you, if I see it, it's probably covered in whipped cream. Guess what? You don't like pumpkin pie. You like whipped cream. All right? You just like whipped cream. You don't like pumpkin pie. You like whipped cream with crust. And you just struggle through the fucking pumpkin part, which is why you have doused it with whipped cream. I know what you are doing. I've done it in the past. Okay? Send me pictures of your pumpkin pie plates then. Okay? Hey, next Thursday, send me pictures of your pumpkin pie. I don't like pumpkin. I don't like the Starbucks pumpkin drinks. I think they're disgusting and repulsive. I don't like any pumpkin flavored anything. And I hate pecan pie as well. Yeah. You know what? I'm just going to come out and say it. I don't like pie. So it's getting too dark to play basketball after work. What do? Hey, get an LA membership and lace them up. Okay, pizza's different. Come on. That's not what I... Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Cake is 10 times better. I mean, cake. Why would you want a pie when you have a cake? Now, that's not to say that a pie is not good. I do like some fruit pies. You know, apple pie on the right time with a fucking scoop of ice cream. Incredible. Right? No denying that. A cherry pie, you know, if it's good, if it's warm, scoop of ice cream, incredible. Okay? Chocolate. I do like chocolate pie. Meat pie. I love me some meat pie. Cake is for children? No, man. Cake is so good. It's my biggest weakness. Far and away, my biggest weakness is cake. Really, most baked goods outside of pies, I guess, are my biggest weakness. But really, cakes are my biggest weakness. And it really sucks because when you walk into H-E-B, you get smacked with their bakery section immediately. And this used to be my problem with Market Street. I used to go to Market Street all the time before H-E-B opened up. I used to go to Market Street all the time. You walk in, boom, immediately you're in the bakery. And it smells so goddamn good. And at Market Street, they were making the moment you walk in, you saw them making the cakes. And you're like, fuck. Did you eat pork pies in England? Pork pies? I got to be honest with you. I hate shepherd pies as well. That's England's big thing. That's their big export that they're really in on. And I don't like it either. I'm more of a cream pie type of guy. Thoughts on ice cream? Also a big weakness of mine is ice cream, yes. But I have to be in the mood for ice cream. Like, as it stands currently, I would not eat ice cream. But whenever I get in the mood for some ice cream, I just I can't help myself. You're telling me that you couldn't, like, you would eat a pie over a fucking Tres Leches cake. You would eat a pie over, I mean, you would consider tiramisu a cake, right? You would eat a pie over that? Seriously? Over a slice of yellow cake? Like, no, you wouldn't, man. No, you wouldn't. Angel fruit cake with strawberries and light whipped cream. You would rather eat a pie than that? That's the best dessert right there. That is the best dessert. An angel food cake with strawberries and some light cream. Ooh! Fuck, I could eat that right now. Oh, my God. What's up, my lefties? I don't know why that was so funny to me. How about cream pie? Yes, you guys want... Yeah, cream pies are great. All right, you guys got it? You guys got what you're looking for? Chocolate chip cookies if we want to go the best all-around dessert. How tall are you? 6'2", 6'3". Oatmeal cream pies with a DP? What? A cream pie with a DP? Sounds gross. When I saw you look 6'3", 6'4". Well, there you go. Hot skillet cookie with ice cream is objectively the best dessert. Ooh, yeah, that shit's fire. Cookies obviously are great. Now, I will say this, though. Crumble cookies are a big no for me. Too fucking much. If your cookie starts to approach the 600 to 700 calorie threshold, you're not making a cookie anymore. You're dealing with some other type of food product. Okay, we are beyond cookies at that point. I had crumble cookies before, and then I finally saw the nutrition details. Never again will I eat crumble cookies. Never again. I mean, you're like, good morning, you're better off eating a full-fledged Thanksgiving feast. Probably less calories than one crumble cookie. You think you can play wideout for the Cowboys? We need you? Maybe. I've long said that I think the NFL is far and away the easiest sport to go professional in. And that, like American football, far and away the easiest sport to go professional in. I get in arguments about that all the time with my friends. Far and away. It's not even close. I actually don't think it's close. They tried to sign Usain Bolt. There were NFL teams wanting to sign Usain Bolt. Like, get serious. Okay? Get fucking serious. Slightly taller than 6'4". I'm 6'4", and he's taller than me. I'm not 6'4". I'm not 6'4". I have finished the penguin, yeah. Very good. So I think I like this thumbnail with the streams. I think it works. Slightly, can you replace Cam Taylor, Britt? Don't know who he is, but yeah, I can get out there. The only reason why I say football, the requirement to be in the NFL is to be a freak athlete. Like, I'm not sitting here saying, like, you or I could go play fucking football. Like, you just have to be, like, a freakish athlete usually, and you're kind of in. That's like, really kind of it. You just have to be a freakish athlete. The direction was cool, and the Beth end of the episode behind the scenes was cool. I'm in on anything HBO does. I'm excited to watch the Dune show, even though my expectations for it aren't that high. But I'm excited to watch it because it's HBO, and they usually don't miss. The last True Detective sucked. Yeah, the True Detective ones are interesting, but they still gave us season 1 of True Detective, which is absolutely peak. I actually never got around to Barry. I rewatched season 1 of True Detective recently. It's incredible. It's not as good as I remembered it being, but maybe it's because I think part of season 1 True Detective, part of the magic was watching it for the first time. Like, part of the magic was watching that show for the first time and just being like, whoa, what the fuck? No, I'm not an anime guy. I have tried. It's just not something that's in the cards for me. All right, we got to get the hell out of here. What's my favorite movie? I don't know. It changes all the time. What's like what I think is the favorite movie I've ever watched, like in terms of enjoyment? I really don't know. What I think is the best movie of all time, like the movie where I finished and just went, fuck, that was a good movie. Honestly, Moonlight's up there. I watched Pulp Fiction recently. It's great, but I wouldn't say it's one of my favorite ones. "12 Angry Men." I watched that in school. It's good. 12 Angry are the what was it? The 12 Samurai? Is that what was that shit called? 7 Samurai? 7 Samurai. 3 hours and 30 minutes. I watched that at for a movie study class I did in college. That shit was insane, bro. Kurosawa, that guy is a beast. Or was a beast. Rest in peace. But that guy was a beast. We also watched another movie from him that really fucked with my mind. And I think it's one of my favorite movies ever. Is it called Dreams, maybe? It was like the last movie he made. He knew he was dying. And he made this movie of like dreams, like surreal dreams he was having. Yeah, dreams. Crazy. Interstellar. Just gonna be honest with you. Interstellar was an incredible viewing experience. Good movie. The ending to that movie it never clicked with me at all. I really thought the ending to that movie was stupid. Like, I've got to be honest with you. Like, them saving the universe through the power of love. I'm sorry, dude. Arrival. I watched Arrival on a plane to Europe. I did not know that movie was like that. I thought it was like an alien. I did not know that movie was going to pack the fucking emotional punch that it packed. I was crying on the plane. I did not know that movie was going to be that sad. Slightly, is Die Hard a Christmas movie? It's set in Christmas, isn't it? Then yes. Like, I damn near consider some of the Harry Potter movies borderline Christmas movies. I couldn't believe the end of Arrival, dude. I was like... All right, we got to get out of here. All right, folks, thank you all for coming out. All the OGs, love you guys very much. Could have spent your, what day of the week is it? Wednesday morning anywhere in the world you decided to tune in. Here, new subscribers, I promise you guys will not regret it. Donations, members, thank you guys so much. You never have to do that, but it helps me out tremendously. Makes me feel so good. You guys enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. I will chat with you all later. Video dropping later today. And yeah, slightly early on Friday. And I'll try to squeeze in a League Pass stream maybe tomorrow night. We'll see. I love you all. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. Talk to you all later. Bye.